Okay, so back to the Great Dane. We're gonna start restoring this. First thing we gotta do is this battery. Check this out. I have a plant, a weed, growing in the battery. And maybe a little bit more right there. Look at this. It's almost a shame. Life will grow anywhere. But anyway, this battery has to come out. It's completely dead. Won't take a charge, won't do anything. But I wanted to show you the engine here. I noticed up here is a little note. You see that? 1561. And that is where the hour meter was when they took the Kawasaki motor off of there. I should review there. I actually blew the Kawasaki motor at 1561. As you see here now is at 1575. So believe it or not, this engine only has 14 hours on it. That's when the wheel motor stripped and parked it. So absolutely, we gotta save this thing. There's quite a few things have to be done, and I'll kind of touch on those as we go along. But today we're pulling the battery out because we got to get it started before we can really do anything. And that's that. It didn't come out completely easily. There's a nice rubber. What would you call it? Sleeve in there. And yeah, the other bolt ripped right off. I have a feeling I'm going to run into that quite a bit around this mower. But it has to be restored. Too much is good on it. So let's go get a new battery. Okay, got the new battery in. I did forget to buy battery cables. I actually forgot to measure them, so I didn't know what size to buy. But I did clean these up really good and got them back on there. They'll do for now. And as well, I also cleaned up the connections on the solenoid, which I hope is on the screen because I can't see the screen. And also the connection on the starter itself, way over here. Because the first time I turned it, nothing happened. And then jiggling around the wires, a little bit happened. And then cleaning them up, I actually got a turn on it. So I'm going to set up the camera here. There's a good chance it's going to start. Now, the gas in there is a year old, but it smells okay to me, so it might actually fire here. So let's give it a try. Okay, not quite. And the exhaust is smelling like bad gas. It's funny, the gas in the tank smells okay, but the gas from the exhaust smells bad. So I'm going to open up the cylinders and try to pump that gas through. Yeah. No joy. Looks like I'm gonna have to take off the bolt. No biggie. Okay, here we go. I'm fairly sure this was the issue. I've had this happen before. This is a little fuel cutoff solenoid. Goes onto the bowl on the bottom of the carburetor. And when you take this off, when I took this off, and I've had this happen before, the little solenoid was stuck in the out or blocked position. That's for transporting. So the mower bounces around a lot, and that can bounce the float around in the pin inside the carburetor lot. to the point where it's like advancing fuel. And so they have this cutoff thing, solenoid, to cut off the fuel. And it is plugged in to that plug there. And when you turn on your ignition, it pulls the plug back. But this one was absolutely stuck in the out position. And so freeing that up, I think that's going to let the fuel flow and let me start it. I hope. If you're wondering why the gas isn't coming out, it's because there's another cutoff at the bottom of the tank. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, solenoid back on, plugged in, exhaust back on. Let's give this a try. Okay, still no. So I'm going to take all the gas out of there and put fresh gas in. Okay, now I have opened the cylinders up again, taken the plugs out, let them dry out a bit more because there's a lot of old gas kind of in there, and pumped it all out. I just mean crank it to kind of, the airflow kind of pushes it out the hole for the spark plug. And dries it out, and this time I have done the old trick of putting just a few drops of gas straight down the intake. So let's see what this does. Something. Okay, there's no question. It's just running on the gas that I'm pouring down the intake, which means that gas is not flowing through the carburetor. So I've got to, I'm gonna have to clean that carburetor. Oh well. Okay, so here's where you can get lucky sometimes. This is your, where am I? This is your fuel pump right here. And this is, okay, this is your fuel line from the gas tank. This is your fuel line into the carburetor. And sometimes you can take your carburetor cleaner, and just spray it right into here, which I can't line up because I'm looking through a funny viewfinder. Anyway, you get the idea. Spray it in there, let it soak for probably about 20 minutes, and then hook it back up again and see what happens. because it sure beats taking the carburetor off and opening it up and cleaning it. So that's what I'm going to do and see what happens. Okay, been soaking for a while. Put the hose back on and we'll give it another try. Okay, we got success. It's not running well, but it is running. It just needs a tune-up at this point. As you can see, the both hydros work, but the other one is stripped, as I explained, stripped in the hub. But this one was working. Now the blades would not engage. Something started smoking, so it looks like something with the clutch is locked up or something. And I'll get to that, but my goal today was just to start the motor, and I did that, and I'm happy. Alright, so stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching.